Today on Newsbeat, smoke spotted at the field house.
And the government is up and running again. All this and more, Newsbeat starts right now.
Good evening and welcome to Newsbeat. I'm Amber Washington.
And I'm Michael Edmondson. Thanks for joining us.
We begin with breaking news. Fire at the Huey P. Field House. We now go live to reporter Jacqueline Massey. Jacqueline?
Hi, I'm in front of the Huey Field House. There's a fire around 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and the policemen and firemen were notified. As you can see, the firemen and policemen have fled the scene because the situation is under control. We have some information that you should know. The fire occurred on the first floor roof. Construction workers were doing work on the skylight with a blowtorch, which caused the wood to ignite. There's no damage to the roof or skylight, only the classrooms. Faculty and staff entered the building around 4:35 in the afternoon. Don't worry, students, because classes will most likely resume the next morning.
Last night, Congress reached a deal which prevented the U.S. from defaulting at midnight. President Obama signed off on the legislation, and furloughed federal employees are now back on the job. Also, many national parks are once again open for visitors.
LSU President F. King Alexander warns continued cuts to college and university funding are a costly mistake. Alexander spoke to the Baton Rouge Rotary Club Wednesday. He told the audience higher education institutions will disappear if the federal and state governments don't make education a priority.
Students know what getting an A or C does to their GPA, but getting a W is not as clear. Students have a small grace period to drop a class without getting a W, but when that time runs out and they do get a W, it means they have formally withdrawn from the class. There are no academic consequences from doing this, but it does mean you've paid for a class that you're not benefiting from. And LSU's Paul Ivey, who helps students achieve their academic and career goals, says graduate students don't need to worry if this will come back to haunt them.
But there's really not a real negative issue there when a student receives a W. Some students are concerned whenever they apply to professional schools later on in their careers, maybe to law school or medical school. Would those W's come into play?
The time to drop a class without receiving a W is 10 days after the first day of classes.
One Louisiana town will be experiencing a cut from the CATS transit system. Courtney Young reports on what the residents of Zachary, Louisiana face in the event of not having public transportation.
Imagine not having a vehicle. Officials say nearly 10,000 people rely on the Capital Area Transit System, better known as CATS, to get to and from work and school. CATS veteran Deborah Marie has been riding the bus for over 20 years, and she believes her fellow CATS passengers deserve the very best.
They need buses, they need more buses, they need cleaner buses, they need, buses to come faster than an hour and a half to wait.
A recent proposal for CATS to add 8 new routes was up for discussion Wednesday, October 2nd at the Office of Downtown Development District. The CATS board collected public feedback, and most, if not all, were in favor of the additions.
If the proposal is granted, 70 new full-time employees will be hired, and the wait time for buses will be dramatically shorter.
But back at the CATS terminal, residents expressed their concerns on the recent decision to eliminate the Zachary shuttle. Beverly Coates says she will no longer be able to shop at her favorite store.
Residents will have to buy cars or have a friend or family to depend on to get from Zachary to their destination.
And some residents who work in Zachary say they may have to relocate jobs. CATS Interim Chief Executive Officer Bob Mirabito says that Zachary did not pass the property tax that would contribute to the funding of CATS.
Roughly it costs us $300,000 a year to run that bus between the two towns, and the ridership is almost next to nothing.
Although there may be few passengers, Marie says public transit should still be available for Zachary.
The people that ride the buses, the people that depend, their lifeline, their light bills, their family's food, their groceries, medical transportation takes the bus.
Zachary residents will be able to continue riding CATS buses until March of 2014. Courtney Young for Tiger TV Newsbeat.
The CATS board recently approved better bus routes for 2014 that would lessen wait times in Baton Rouge and in Baker. The new routes will still be approval from the Baton Rouge Metro Council, which meets October 23rd.
A Baton Rouge center that helps veterans get back on their feet gets its own fresh start. The Garfield House provides transitional housing for homeless veterans, and as reporter Caitlin Loyacano explains, those vets now have something new to come home to.
This turn of a drill and saw of a board is giving some American heroes a second chance.
We get veterans here in different stages of recovery.
Dozens of volunteers gave up a day to fix this 95-year-old house that sheltered generations of veterans.
Our basic philosophy is love them back to life.
Garfield Center residential manager William O'Connor is amazed at the effort.
Awesome, always a good thing. And just watching the number of people in the organization and how quickly they're getting things done, that's awesome.
Local Home Depot manager Raymond Owens is just one of the many who are giving their time to help build stairs, make a garden, and pressure wash the foundation of the house.
Awesome feeling to get out here and just give back to the community.
The Garfield Center is a transitional home for homeless veterans. It gets them back on their feet to find jobs and help with personal issues.
And we don't believe in failures. No one that comes here fails.
O'Connor struggles himself and says that's what gives him a different perspective than most.
I'm in recovery myself. I know the pains of divorce, loss of job, being homeless. So I think that helps me identify with what's going on with the individuals that we serve.
O'Connor says he's seen veterans on the edge of giving up altogether. However, the house changed their perspective.
To see them just grab on to life again and to come alive and lose that frown and that stare and start laughing again, which is so important.
For the veterans who live here, this is a stronger foundation for their future. Caitlin Loyacano, Tiger TV, Newsbeat.
Owens says Home Depot pledges over $80 million over the course of 5 years to help and assist veterans and their families. So it's seeming like we're finally getting some of that cooler weather again.
Yes, it finally feels like fall. So after break, we will have a weekend weather report with our forecaster, Lauren Graham. So stay with us.
Good evening, LSU. I'm Lauren Graham, and here's your daily weather forecast. Today was very cool outside. Temperatures stayed in the mid-70s, and it was partly cloudy. Here's a picture from this afternoon taken by sports reporter Johnny Lombardi. It was pretty cloudy today, which wasn't too bad because it made it feel cooler outside. Tonight, the high is 75 degrees and the low is 58 degrees, with a 10% chance of rain. We are moving into some lower temperatures this weekend. As for Friday, the high is 80 degrees and the low is 61 degrees. There is a 20% chance of rain. Now to the 5-day forecast. We should have some low temperatures going into next week. Saturday, there's a 40% chance of rain, which should drop temperatures down even more. Now let's welcome Sports Director Alex Cheney, who's going to tell us what weather we should expect at the away game at Ole Miss on Saturday.
Good news about Oxford this weekend. There is a 0% chance of rain, which is about as much percent chance as Ole Miss has of winning. You can expect a high of about 66 degrees and a low around 40. So fellas, break out the jeans. Ladies, bring a sweater with you. It's going to be kind of a cold game, but looking forward to it.
Awesome. Thanks. So what do you think the final score will be?
Well, I think it's going to be a great game to the Tigers and the Rebels, but I got to stick with LSU. I think it's going to be 34-21.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Alex.
Also, stick around for sports at 6, bottom of the ninth. Going to be great.
Thank you. Well, that's all for today, so don't forget to check Tiger TV for your up-to-date campus weather report every day. I'm Lauren Graham. Back to you at the desk.
Thanks, Lauren and Alex. After the break, we've got Katie Stewart coming up with our weekly LSU Spotlight.
Stay with us.
Stewart, keeping you organized with all things student organizations. With midterms almost officially behind us, students have more than enough reason to celebrate. Another celebration about to grace LSU's campus is the Manship School of Mass Communication Centennial. Next week marks an important time for the Manship School with its 100th birthday celebration. The celebration will be held October 23rd through the 26th, with many exciting events open to the public, alumni, students, and faculty and staff. The 100th year celebration of Manship is one to be proud of and something a lot of journalism schools have not yet accomplished. It is also an opportunity to share the school's history with the LSU community and the nation. Manship is one of the oldest journalism schools in the nation, and like many others, we have evolved from a primarily print journalism school to a cutting-edge, state-of-the-art program that offers all aspects of communication for students to explore. I spoke with Emily Wascom, the Director of Centennial Celebrations, about everything this exciting week has to offer. The celebration includes the 1913 Society Dinner, the Hall of Fame Gala, the Manship's 100th birthday party, a tailgate on the terrace, and so much more. Wascom would also like to encourage all students to attend Thursday and Friday's free events for students. Starting at 9 a.m. Thursday morning, there will be retrospective panels on Tiger TV, The Reveille, and PR, as well as special panel with Dean Jerry Seppos on the future of news. On Friday, starting at 8:30 a.m., Professor Lance Porter will bring the world of digital media to life with a digital media training day for students. Don't miss out on this opportunity to be a part of such an amazing time in our school's history. And from everyone here at Tiger TV, happy birthday, Manship School. Thank you for tuning in to this week's edition of LSU Spotlight. I'm Katie Stewart. Keep it organized, LSU. Back to y'all at the desk.
Thanks, Katie. That's all the time that we have for Newsbeat today, but you can catch our full show online at tigertv.tv or on our YouTube channel.
And be sure to connect with us on Facebook and Twitter for our latest updates.
From all of us at Newsbeat, thanks for joining us, and we'll see you back here on Monday, so have a great weekend.